Practice time at Imola for the 3D Speed Series. Just a 12-man grid, so probably not going to be the most amazing race in the world. Didn't qualify on qualifying fuel. I don't know about what everyone else did. Got to a 44 flat, so 43 something would probably be qualifying time. Car is battling a little bit with primarily the issue is honestly a little bit of coldness in the tires, which I need to find a way from. And then there's the fact that the Audi is not super amazing when it comes to taking curbs. And of course, Imola is very much about taking curbs. So we're going to do a 75 liters here. You can see the pressures I'm running as well. I don't think we had any real problems with like tire wear. I'm just going back through the sets I used. And indeed, there was no graining or anything to talk about, so that's good. Might try to swap the the brake ducts down even thinner to see if I can build up more heat. Could be an option. I also definitely feel like I'll probably do some mechanical grip changes to get a little bit more understeer into the car. Maybe even some brake bias adjustments to try to make that happen. So there is that on the table that I'm thinking about doing. But we'll see. The Aston Martins look very strong here with Zach Martin, Dave Nelson, Andres Lasudis, Larry Foster all doing quite well. Matt Howell's down in 10th place, but I think he was doing fairly well as well, just didn't quite keep up. But I think Aston Martins and Mercedes are going to be very dangerous here. Matt Higgs on pole. Not a lot of pro drivers present, just Burke, Murrah, and Higgs. And I think we're missing somebody because I could have sworn Burke was in 5th place. But anyways, wish me luck, and let's see what I can do here for 40 minutes. It'd be nice if I can get my racecraft up into the 90s for the first time. Just currently sitting at 89. No widget. I think my Discord is not actually broadcasting, but I don't want to dig out and see if that's the case. So, manual start. Get a good little braking going on here. Through Ravaza. Slowing us way down. Go. Should have been a good gap, but we'll check on the replay. Having a hard time judging the gap from inside the car. Slow down to Tamburello. Leave room. Larry Foster bowling his way through there a little bit. Switch the MFD over to relative. Still debating whether this is a 4th gear turn down to a 3 or a 3 down to a 2 or just a 3 all the way through. But the fastest I found was the 3-2. The 4-3 feels faster. So no change in position at the start. Larry Foster making a big move, but that was actually Nelson he got past, not me. He was already ahead of me on the grid. A little bit of a better run out of Piratella, but I don't want to force that too wide into Aqua Minerale. And might have pressured a mistake out of Dave Nelson anyways. That's good. Tires are in a decent spot. Lefts are a little cold, but not as cold as they could be. Northrop behind me, along with Howell. They also got past Nelson. Ravassa has been a problem for me. I've been really... I feel like I'm braking too early for that turn, but then when I try to press my luck and do what I normally would do, I go off. Zach Martin going very slowly there. Looks like he might have made a mistake off of Ravassa. So, we've got the two front range Astons ahead. Or two of the three here today. Matt Howell also on that team. They are missing their team leader. That was definitely wrong. Lasutasov. Missing their team leader. Although not so much this season. Antonio Garda. Doing very, very well, though. They're in second place in the overall standings. Mostly because of the efforts of Larry and Zach Martin, who have been fantastic. No time gain through my off at Piratella. That's good. Pulling away from Northrop. I expect him to get a lot better. Because that Mercedes can really push around here. And I assume the Get Speed crew, once Chris Johnson gets through with them, will be much stronger. I think this is a race that Mercedes crew should be able to build on their lead. How are we doing on temp? Still a little cold on that front left. I haven't been able to solve that. Front right's also a little cold. Did a 45.2. Hoping to get into the 44s here. As a consistent lap time, because again, on full fuel we did a... Well, not quite full fuel, because I am running a little bit heavier right now than I did in practice and qualifying, where I ran whatever the default fuel is. I think it's like 60, 65. This is 75, so we should probably be in the 45s for a little bit. Then maybe around lap 10 or so. Should be able to consistently glide around in the 44s. Actually, this one might be a 44 too. As I hang on to the back of this Aston Martin train. Into Alta. Alta definitely feels like a weak spot on the track. Aqua Minerale a little bit as well. Just because I don't feel like I have consistency through Aqua Minerale. I feel like this race I'm going to come to have a very, very keen knowledge of what the back end of an Aston Martin looks like. Okay. Foster was in the 43s. Looks like Zach Martin, normally the slowest of these three, is actually the one struggling, or the fastest of these three is the one struggling the most. And de Villeneuve. Despite that bobble off of Tamburello, looks like I'm putting together a good lap here still. Plenty of time to go, mind you. Gap to Nelson, 3.7, so he's found his way past Howell and Northrop. I feel like he is definitely a threat. Mistake there. So that's what I mean through Aqua Minerale. Not a big mistake, but just an inconsistent line. sure if that was a brake check from Lasudis, but he is very slow through Variante Alta. Because, I mean... Tries to outbrake me, and I've got him. Not sure if that was an intentional defensive move through Alta to slow me down, or what, but I lost like a solid half a second through Alta. I know there's a relationship between the two Aston teams. They're largely academy guys. I was going to say, I think I probably could do faster through Tamburello, and that proved it, because even with the bobble last lap, I was like, what, 1-7 up? Threw a little bit of a way through there for Tosa, though. I think I actually do know all the turns for this track for a change. Unlike Zandvoort, where that was definitely not the case last week. Even in commentary, it wasn't the case. Bad run through Minerali. And we've caught up to Andrew Burke, who is struggling a little bit in the Ferrari. Championship leader, Andrew Burke. Don't think this will be a track for him. Let's call it a gut feeling. Just the car. That being said, has to be said, wouldn't really think the Lamborghini would be super strong here, and our pole sitter was a Lamborghini, so there is that. And he is doing 43s, so... Then again, struggling is relative. Normally he would not be being hassled by Larry Foster and Zach Martin. And I wouldn't even be seeing him. And the only Audi he'd be really seeing is Paul Riccobeni and maybe Mika Watt. The suit is catching up to me a little bit, despite actually decent lap times on my part. Which is making me wonder a little bit more and a little bit more if that run through Alta really was a defensive move. Because he lost a lot of time there. Let's see. The gap is about 1 second entering Alta between the two of us. Let's see. See what it is when we hit Ravazza's braking zone. So, maybe not. I had a bad run through there, and he only gained about a 10th back. But when I followed him through there, I lost a half second, so... 43 from Foster and Burke. Low 41 for them. Even Lasudis on a 42 or a 44.2. About a quarter through. That's Higgs off. Is Lambo. Who that puts in the lead then? Would it be... Oh, it'd be Murrah. Duh. I'm very worried just because I'm battling with a large number of Aston Martins championship-wise, and they just look very quick here. I don't even mean just like Foster and Martin who are up ahead, but like Lasutis is higher up than normal. Howell's doing quite well. Nelson seems to have vanished, so not sure what happened to him. Haven't lost him. He's just apparently not in the top 10. Who's that in 10th place? 87. Oh, it's one of the South American Tango cars. Losing time again to Lasutis. I'm largely just driving against Andreas right now. I don't really think anyone in the top 5 is catchable without a mistake. They're putting up what I think of as like qualifying laps. Also feels like I'm a little heavy on fuel. Using a little bit less. That could be it. It's within a tenth of what I calculated though, so it shouldn't be too much. Does feel a little heavy though. We'll see. Could be my fastest lap here. X is only running 43.7s. Yeah, say that as if it's not a half second faster than anything I've done. Might have a 43 here. Of course, the last two turns are Alta and Ravazza. Probably my two worst turns on the track. Getting a little bit of gap back, at least to Lasutis. Actually going to be faster than Higgs that lap. Yeah. 43.7, more than a second faster than Andreas. So, could they be slightly hot on their tires? Could be also that Higgs is just cold on his tires right now. That off would have put him back into a warm-up phase. approaching the halfway point, and it indeed does look like I'm going to have too much fuel. But that is not terrible. Oh, Burke is off. The all front engine podium might really be a thing here. It was not such a good lap. 44.8. Lost 9/10 to Lasudis. Burke spins around. Really might be a fourth gear corner. Little Higgs, let me in. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Although by hair I mean Peach Fuzz. Because I'm pretty sure Little Higgs does not have proper facial hair. Although Andreas is becoming a threat behind me, so... might need to focus on that a little bit. Double front range podium at this rate. Oh, it's Rick Martel was the AM car. I lost 2/10 to Andreas. That felt a little deep. I had to do a touch of brake. Oh, that's wide. Let's see if we can get Andreas again. That's why I don't do fourth gear in there. It feels like I'm carrying too much speed. Halfway into the race. Probably not too bad, actually. I've used up about 35 liters. So that puts me on about 70 with about 5 left over. Which actually, that's pretty close to perfect. Gives me 1 lap of room and the ability to do a cool down lap, which you're supposed to do for realism. Bit late on the brakes there. Drive-through penalty, car 163. That's Matt Higgs. Must have caught Varianti Alta. Northrop about 3 seconds behind me. Alright, well, let's worry about Andreas. Not going to worry about that gap because I went off the track that lap. So. And he passed me, so yeah. So yes, he was faster. Oh no! Oh no. Alright, well, so much for that. Question is, do I keep racing as normal, or do I use this as a chance to just, like, push for lap times? Made some mistakes here today. Still at a Nelson, though. Who, not so much a threat right now, but long term of the series, I think is going to be a rival. Let's see, any damage? No damage. Tire damage, probably. But no suspension damage from the bumps. Alright, see if we can climb back up on Northrop and get that 5th place back. Gonna be hard at 10 seconds, but hey, I lost 14 seconds on that lap. If he does a spin, we can get right back ahead of him. He's actually only running 46.1. So actually could be up on him in about 5 laps. Tamburella's a harsh mistress. You want to take those curbs, but you know if you do, there's a solid chance it's not going to go well for you. Into Piratella. Down to Aqua Minerale. Up the hill to Alta. Not going to be a good lap. Going to be in the 44s again. Which I guess is really what I'm aiming for. But I'd like to be below 44.5. So anytime we're above that, I think it's probably a not great lap. There we go, 44.5 for Northrop, so that's more his pace. He made a mistake that same lap, so 44.6, lost time in Sector 2, not surprising. Howell did a similar lap to me. Forgot to turn on Crew Chief, but that's fine. Hauling in Northrop in Sector 1, which is a bit weird. I thought the Mercedes would be strong there. Really fucked up Aqua Minerale there. Lost like 4/10. Wow. And Northrop aced it. He is super fast through there. Okay. But not necessarily through the chicanes. That's interesting. I assumed the Mercedes and Aston Martins would gang most of their time through the chicane. So he might have made a mistake because he's down to the 46s again. We know he's capable of better than that. Technically still on the silver podium, because there are 2 AM cars ahead of me and a Pro one. Pardon me. Bronze and overalls, we're calling it now, because the AM Pro thing, like, we're all AM. Better run through Aqua Minerale that time. Pretty decent run through Alta. Good. Through Ravaz is about the only place the car gets super unsettled that doesn't involve curbing. 45.3 to my 44.3, so took a second out of Northrop again, and about even times with Dave Nelson. Would have been faster, but bad run through Ravaza. Cost me about 0.3. Would like to see that gap trough down to under 7 seconds this lap. That would be ideal. And should be very doable. Bit rough through Aqua Mineral. It wasn't slow, though. It was actually much slower through Alta. Slow and clean through Ravaza, please. And mission achieved, actually. 44.9. 44.3 for me. 44.3 for Dave. And Burke is behind Dave now, putting up 43s. Think he'll be on me, depending on how fast he can deal with Dave. Can we get it below 6 this lap? Probably not. Started just under 7. I'm not a second faster a lap than him on a consistent basis. I can do it, but it requires him to have a bad lap. Another bad run through Aqua Minerale. Good exit, though. And a better run through Alta. Tires are still a little cold at the front. Oh, he did a 44.5. So made up another half second. And Nelson was almost a full second off me that lap, so him fighting with Burke is buying me time. Looks like Burke might have messed up a little bit. He's pulled away a little this lap. And we hadn't even reached a strong point, which is Aqua Minerale. Come on, car, what's up? Feels like there's just no kick off of the corners here. Northrup puts up his best, I think, of the day. 44 flat. Work by him. So that was part of the problem. Because a 44.4 is not a terrible lap. I can see him consistently, though, so he's not far away. Even if it's been a little bit since I made up really any real ground. And we'll have to make up more than a second a lap to make it happen. He's found some pace here towards the end. So, good on him. Bit of a rough run through Ravazza. 44.4. I'm going to be like a 44.4 as well. So, yeah, like 0.05 of a difference. 44.1 for Nelson, so he was the fastest of our three. Like to get that down to less than 6 seconds, though, by the end of it. Even if I don't really think I'm going to be able to catch him. Like starting to give out on me. I can feel it in my left knee. I can feel it. You light off a little bit there. 45 flat. So I made up about a half second. Got it down to 6 even. Probably only 2 more laps to go, though. So, unless I can suddenly find 1 minute 42s, I am not going to catch them. still, overall, over pushed and made 2 critical mistakes. But showed off a pair of pretty solid overtakes. Nelson at Aqua Minerale and Locutus at... or Lasutis, I should say, at Ravazza. So let me know in the comments below what you thought was better. I thought it was the Ravazza one because it went through Varianti Alta all the way down. But, I mean, at the same time, Aqua Minerale was a pretty sweet overtake, too. There's also the fact that I feel like Andreas may, in fact, have attempted to do defense there. And I still beat him. So, new fastest lap, 43.6. Too little too late, though. Consistency's up to 93. You guys can't see my ratings because my face is there, but... Track rating 94, 93 consistency, 91 car control, 91 safety, and 89 racecraft. So that won't help any of that. CP and pace are still ludicrously low, 0 and 24 respectively. I wonder if we'll get another lap. Depends where the leader is. That's the thing. Murrah's probably way ahead of everyone, so I really have no idea. If he does get another lap, that might play into our favor. Because I know some people are finer on their fuel calculations than I am. Could somebody... No, we'll find out. Alright. So he was just about the difference between Alta and Ravazza ahead of me. Might have gone slower even. If he himself was running into... I think he might have been running into fuel problems. And to the line with a pretty terrible final lap of 46 flat, but safety rating unmoved. We'll take it easy on the cooldown lap here. Let my knee do minimal work. Yeah, I think you lost connection, Higgs. Yeah, we got another one coming. I mean, on the bright side, it's one of 3 Italian tracks in the game, so you can easily vote against it in the future. Oh, I like Monza. Produces so much good racing. It's boring to hot lap it, but it produces good racing. Well, you're also in a car that I think doesn't handle this track very well. See you, Andrew. So, overall, I mean, made 2 big mistakes. Otherwise, probably not podium capability, but probably 4th place. Everyone. Well, that's because we almost ended up with an extra lap. Probably just didn't put enough fuel in, though, if he couldn't make that lap. All right, I'll post up the setup I used in the Audi Revolution chat. You guys can adjust it as you must, as you will, as you want. I don't think it's really sharp end pace. I do like that you actually can find. I didn't realize that the that would be pushed out for your set at your stop site. So that's neat. That's good to know. I actually know where to stop now. Anyways, always remember I have issues. There it is. I have issues, and I hope you enjoyed the practice race here around Imola. The real one will be way more exciting.